Hi, good day. So tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, good day. I am LaShawn Porter and I am an educator by profession.
Okay, great. And how long have you been an educator?
For approximately more than 4 years.
Oh, all right, great. So I have noticed that there are some videos that are going viral on the internet whereby there's students who are beating teachers. There's a loggerhead at school, students against students, students against teachers, and all of that. What would you do as a teacher to prevent that in the classroom? Or what do you think the Ministry of Education can do to prevent that from happening?
Well, personally, I believe that every school should have a school council. In this way, we would have the students being educated more about violence and anything that relates to violence.
Okay, great. So as a teacher, what will you do to avoid the loggerhead between you and a student in the classroom, to avoid the conflict from escalating?
So for me personally, I use my own technique whereby if I notice that a student is getting very heated, very angry, very upset, I usually try to get the student away from the classroom. So just ask that student to, kindly step outside so that we can deal with it outside and in the presence of the next teacher. I don't approach the student on a one-on-one. I don't try to shout back, but I would ask them to kindly step outside so that we can deal with the matter. And I call the next teacher so we can deal with it in the presence of a next teacher.
Okay, great. And as a community, we know that we're living in a society whereby it's like a pull games. As a community, how can we help our young people who are going through their own little pre-pressure, who is going through something at home and would need somebody to talk to? How can the community assist young people with that?
You see, our community is made up of many different persons from within different professions. We can gather doctors, nurses, educational the health officers, and these persons create a little, I would say, a committee in our community whereby we can keep, for example, every Sunday we have like a different talks. We have different talks with the students, just educating them on some of the pressing issues that happen throughout our country. We know that there's a lot of things that happen, there's a lot that these children go through, and sometimes all they need is a listening ear, or even someone who might be short of the ear. They would want, I think they would open up more to that person and share, and in that way, we'll be able to know what the students are going through, and we'll know how to help them.
Okay, so do you think that in the education system, the Ministry of Education should introduce school curriculum about hunger issue and help children to be aware of their anger issue and the different type of temperament, assist them when they have this built-up anger and to learn how to deal with this issue?
Personally, I don't think